Morning, councillors, CEO, directors, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. The wonderful place that we call home has of course seen a human occupation dating back about 60,000 years, and in our valley that's the Iwi people. So whenever we're together as a council and as a community, we pay our respects to the traditional custodians and honour their elders past, present and those emerging. So welcome to our online audience. This council meeting is being streamed live and being recorded and published in accordance with the council's standing orders. And welcome to our members of the public gallery. Draw your attention to the top right hand corner of the screen there. And once again, by being here, and if you do speak, you'll be recorded and streamed live in accordance with the council's standing orders. And we're required to tell you, of course, that you may be subject to legal action if your actions or comments in our chambers today are deemed inappropriate or unacceptable, which we're sure about. So thank you very much. And I'll declare the meeting open. And today we welcome, let me get this page right, Colin Hardy from the Mackay Baptist Church. Pastor Colin, it's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Good to see you all. Thank you again for all you do for us. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we are grateful to you for this beautiful part of the world that we have been blessed to live in. We thank you for all these people in this room who dedicate their lives to the ongoing management and development of this region. And I just want to pray that this meeting will be conducted in a way that will further the cause here in magnificent Mackay. So Lord, we just pray for your presence, pray for your leading, and pray for your ongoing leadership through this community in the years ahead. So I thank you for the privilege of being here today, for all of us, the privilege of being here today, and I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor Colin. Nobody absent on council business, no apologies, condolences. Councillors Norma Shuttlewood, a long-standing member of our community, passed away just recently at the age of 98. So Norma, of course, is one of our most outstanding citizens in terms of her contribution, particularly to the arts. She was a life member of the Choral Society, a life member of the Mackay Stedford Association, a life member of the Table Tennis Association, and a life governor of the North Queensland Stedford. She did tell me once that she had every Mackay Stedford publication in terms of agenda since 1945. So she is certainly an icon in our region, and with your acceptance, we'll pass on the council's condolence to her family, and particularly also to the organisations that she was a life member of, and mark her passing as an outstanding citizen of Mackay. Norma Shuttlewood. Any further condolences, Councillor May?
Thank you very much, Worship. I'd like to move a condolence for Leon Robinson, who passed away on the 21st of February. His funeral was last Wednesday. Leon has been a member of the Serena community for many, many years, a local cane farmer down there in Kamala. He was also a shareholder at the Community Bank Serena in establishing the Community Bank in Serena. He also was a very active member of the Serena Men's Shed Association and brought to the Men's Shed lots of talent in fixing things, repairing things, and the work that the Men's Shed do there in Serena. And of course, since 2010, he was a volunteer at the Serena Sugar Shed, and he devoted 1 day a week to volunteering at the Serena Sugar Shed, and most of that time he spent in the bottling and bonding room. So he and a few other people down there ensured that all of the bottling was undertaken and the bonding room was managed in an appropriate manner. So we just like to send our condolences to his wife Judy and their 3 children.
Thanks, Councillor May. Further condolences? Any further condolences? No further condolences. Let's move on. Conflicts of interest. Anybody has conflicts to declare today? Nobody? Confirmation of the minutes of the meeting of the 22nd of February, included in your agenda item. Somebody like to move that the minutes endorsed? Councillor Bonaventura moves. Councillor Jones seconds. Those in favour? Any against? Motion's carried. The business arising out of the minutes None. Merrill minutes, none today. So let's move on to the consideration of committee reports and recommendations. First, the Office of the Mayor and CEO, the report and review for February. CEO. No. It's fairly well straightforward. Are there any questions? No questions? Would somebody like to move the adoption of the Office of the Mayor and CEO report? Councillor May moves. Seconded by Councillor Green. Councillor May.
Thank you very much, Ruth. Just a couple of highlights out of the report. I think really I'll mention is the safety and being able to carry out 120 safety interactions being undertaken within the month is a great effort. 22 site inspections were undertaken, 89% of our monthly action plan activities were carried out, and there was 20 random drug and alcohol tests undertaken throughout the organisation. Also, we've seen our Council and Community Day last Wednesday, where the Council ventured up to the western part of our region, stopping in at the Lees Club to see their upgrade plans, and then on to Youngler and Finchatten, where I believe that you've had some good conversations with the local community up there, just getting to understand the difficulties they had been through in the past weather event. Our legal services is a very busy place, and you can see there is 304 matters there in consideration for our legal team. But what I'd like to draw your attention to is the disputes and litigation part of that, and there is only 33 matters being considered by the legal team in disputes and litigation. And I think that's a really good indicator as to how council is conducting its business, because that is a very low number in regards to the legal matters. Our corporate performance and planning reporting, it's good to note that the organisational strategy for 23 to 28 is finalised and being supported by the organisational launch led by the CEO. The corporate performance and planning report framework has been updated to reflect the removal of the director plans now and leaving that organisational strategy and program plans as our connector back to the corporate plan. In the enterprise risk management area, the risk appetite has been workshopped with our executive leadership team and progressed through to the final draft, which will take place, a review of that will take place next month. So we look forward to further information on that. Thank you.
Councillor May, speaker against? Any other speakers? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Any against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. 11.2, client and community services and the monthly review at 2.1 for client community services. Director, acting director.
Thank you, Your Worship. February has been a busy month for the Directorate, and there's a couple of items I wanted to note in the report. The Jet Maintenance Sports Expo event was a really big success, held at the Mackay. We had over 5,000 people attend, and I just wanted to do a shout out to our community lifestyle team, the Mackay, and also to our corporate comms teams. Our emergency management team has been assisting Bundaberg Regional Council implementing an item called Person-Centred Emergency Preparedness, or PSEP. And this has been a really good opportunity because it's good to see local governments working together and sharing ideas. And I really wanted to thank emergency management for that as well. We've also had over 12,254 persons entering the Mackay this financial year, and we're now hitting 110% patronage versus last year. And we've already, sorry about that. And I just want to thank everyone in the Directorate for helping this month, and look forward to next month and the year ahead. Thank you.
Thanks very much to our acting director. Questions? Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to ask a question around on page 97. It says library things and loans. So obviously we know that we loan books and digital things, and but it also says that we actually loan musical instruments, and there was quite a lot out in the report. So I just wondered what a musical instrument that was.
Director, can you help?
Yes, I can. Through the chair, there's lots of different items that we loan out. Bass guitars, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bongos, keyboards, and also amplifiers as well. So we do have a high number of loans in these items, and from the staff, it's quite a large area that our customers look forward. So we do offer a lot of different music items, and it's definitely something that our customers look forward to.
Okay, thank you.
Might be some hope for the Slate Point Rock Band yet.
You never know, Your Worship, you never know.
No. Further questions? Any further questions? Somebody like to move the report's adoption, please. Councillor Townsend moves. Councillor Jones second. Councillor Townsend.
Thank you, Your Worship. It was a huge month in February, and I'd just like to focus on a couple of things. Artspace is currently showcasing a fabulous new exhibition, Colourful Expressions, featuring 4 well-known artists. The official opening of the exhibition was on the 17th of February, and Artspace welcomed 149 members of the community. Unfortunately, I was away at the time. We could have pumped that up to 150. The exhibition is on display until the 14th of May, and I encourage our art enthusiasts not to miss this exhibition while there is still an opportunity. And I'd like to extend congratulations to the Grasstree Beach Progress Association, whose application for a public art mural has been approved, and local artist Donna Robinson will be painting the tropical mural which features local flora and fauna, and I look forward to taking a drive out there on its completion and having a look. I was privileged to attend the pre-launch of our very own local Karen Jacobson's Misogyny Opus at Vintage Kitten last month, and what a great evening it was. Karen has brought to life through her musical talent the now historical misogyny speech delivered by our then Prime Minister Julia Gillard. And who can forget those historical words expressed by a former Prime Minister in the halls of Parliament back in 2012. The world premiere of Misogyny Opus will be held right here in Mackay on the night of the 29th of April. And if members of our community haven't already purchased tickets, I encourage them to today, if possible, because this promises to be a sellout event. Karen's going to be joined on stage by musicians from the Queensland Symphony Orchestra, local artist Sarah Rosicans and Molly Rosetto, as well as a school choir from St Patrick's Mackay Mercy campus. So she's involved a lot of our local talent with this event. She is going to include a student performance and a Q&A on the 28th of April where students can attend free of charge. Fantastic opportunity for our students to learn about the history of this speech and the meaning of misogyny, because some don't even know how to pronounce it. And I believe this is also going to be a sellout event. I, for one, am very excited about this one-off event for Mackay.
Thanks, Councillor Townsend. Speaker against? Any other speakers? Councillor Jones speaking for.
Thank you, Worship. There were just 2 items in this report that I wanted to highlight. One was community engagement on page 117. It was really great to see 2 projects were finalised in the month. And while they're not so sexy projects, but nonetheless important to complete, was McGinn and Simpson Drainage and Keelan and Goldsmith's Rising Sewer. Also in the report I note Health and Regulatory on page 120. Our team are always very, very busy in this area, and the month of February was no different for them. This team often go untalked about in our council meetings, so I thought that it was time to say thank you for all the work that they do, and also note the large number of requests that were completed in the month, but even more so the fact that the SLA time frame, they met that well under, and it's a great result, and I'd like my thanks passed on to the team.
Thanks, Councillor Jones. Councillor Mann speaking for.
Yes, thank you. Just wanted to highlight the Regional Arts Development Fund showcase that was held recently. Councillor May and I both attended, and both, in our opinion, expressed the value of arts and how this council views the value of arts in our region. And I did take the opportunity to talk to a lot of people who have previously been funded and who were there on the night, and really pleased to see that one of the artists is now in discussions with their arts development officers about another recovery project for Youngblood, given the recent weather event with the landslides. So Jolene Robinson's having a talk to our arts development officers to see what can be done there. And another artist who recently had an exhibition told me that I inspired her to bring something else forward, and she should be doing that very shortly too. So I think it was highly successful, and again, a big thanks to our arts development officers who work so proactively with all the artists in our region.
Thanks very much, Councillor Mann. Any other speakers? Councillor Green speaking for.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to speak about the sport and recreation section in the report. Really great to see the strength in the numbers of the Active in the Regions program. It really looks like chair yoga in Havana is incredibly successful. There's some really big numbers going there, and also aerobics in Serena. But the active Mackay region program is also holding steady. The River Wharves Pilates sessions are incredibly successful, and water aerobics is holding strong as always at this time of year. So these are great programs that for a low cost get our community active, and more importantly our regional and rural communities active. So I'd like to thank everyone involved in continuing these programs. And a mention of the Brewers Park management plan. So we now have a committee established that is taking forward the sustainability and future-proofing the Brewers Park the management of Brewers Park down in Serena. They've had their first committee meeting without council. I really look forward to meeting the committee members, and I thank them personally for putting their hands up. It's a big job ahead of them, but it's absolutely needed for the sustainability of this much needed sporting precinct in Serena. Thank you.
Thank you much. Councillor Green, Councillor Hassan, speaking for.
Thank you, Worship. I just wanted to back up what the director said about being able to have the Sports Expo back at the Mac this year after a couple of years of COVID cancellations and having it online. It was fantastic to see so many people there on the day. Councillor Bonaventura, as the chair, put in a significant amount of work, and we were there on Saturday afternoon to help set up, and again from early Sunday morning all day, and just seeing the amount of people there and the participation in the activities were there was fantastic. I mean, we had, in one little area alone, we had a sailing group, the Teen Shed, Land Rover group, and the Orchid Society. So we had, there was something for everybody, and it was just really fantastic to see so much involvement and participation. And just kudos to all of the team involved. There's a significant amount of work goes into planning that event from our comms team, particularly at Sport and Rec, and then the MEC team on the day, absolutely outstanding. So if the director could pass on our thanks to all of the staff involved, it was absolutely a fantastic event. And of course the sponsors, Jet Maintenance Services coming on board this year as our major sponsor was really great to see, and thanks to everyone who was involved.
Thanks very much, Councillor Hassan. Any other speakers? Councillor May, speaking for.
Yeah, just one item, Your Worship. I'd like to do a bit of a call out to Ozcan Worm Farms in partnering with the MEC to divert our food waste there that would normally go to landfill into to their worm farm. So I think that's a great initiative on behalf of the MEC to actually establish that relationship with them, and look forward to seeing the success of that, because that is a lot of food that does not have to go to our landfill.
Great, thanks, Councillor May. Any other speakers? No other speakers, then I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Any against? The motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. 11.3 in org services, 11.3.1, so community consultation post the notified motion of the council renaming of McCarthy Street at Hay Point. The officer's recommendation here is that having received the community consultation, the report doesn't show support from property owners for the proposed renaming of McCarthy Street, Hay Point. As a result of the council resolution on 27 July, council does not support the proposed renaming and retains the name of McCarthy Street. It's kind of spelled. Are there any questions? Getting that straightforward. I do note that we have an alternate motion that has been tabled by Councillor Bonaventura. So the way we have to deal with the officer's recommendation first, so that will be moved first. If that gets defeated, we'll then deal with the notified motion. Sorry, not the notified motion, the alternate motion. Would somebody like to move the officer's report? Okay, you're moving the officer's report, Councillor Town? No, you're not? Okay, righto. The officer's report and the officer's recommendation is lapsed, therefore I'll deal with the alternate motion. Councillor Bonaventura.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your Worship, and I'll read the motion because it is a new motion. That in accordance with section 254H of the Local Government Regulation 2012, the following are recorded as reasons in support of a decision made at a local government meeting inconsistent with the recommendation or advice given by the local government by an advisor of the local government. Having received the community consultation report for the proposed renaming of McCarthy Street, Hay Point, following the council resolution on July 27, A, this change will correct a historical spelling error in the naming that did not reflect the original owners of the land in the Hay Point area, namely McCarthy and Helwich. B, under council policy COU 090, naming of infrastructure assets, section 1.1, in the request for naming or renaming of an infrastructure asset, dot point 4 states, if it is found that information submitted regarding the naming of the infrastructure asset is factually incorrect, dot point C, the results of the survey of 37 landholders on McCarthy Street indicated only 10 objections in the 15 responses received, leaving 22 who offered no comment, indicating there was a high probability that they had no objection to the change. Further, that council resolves to rename McCarthy Street, Hay Point, to McCarthy Street.
So you're moving, councillor Bonaventura, so seconder. Councillor Jones seconds. I'll take that as you're speaking to the motion, and is there anything else you want to say right now, councillor?
I'm probably quite happy that there are a few points there that I may make. I think simply if I summarise it into the point that councillors, Mr McCarthy has been trying to right this wrong for many years. First by writing letters to council, then by coming to council meetings on several occasions to plead his case. I acknowledge the presence of today here of Mr Glenn McCarthy, who is the grandson of Norman McCarthy, and I thank him for his dedication to achieving a result. And councillor, I ask you for your support on this.
Thanks, councillor Bonaventura. Speaker against. Are there any other speakers? Councillor Bella speaking for.
I've always been a bit of a believer in the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, I've also had the misfortune of having a name that gets mistaken quite a lot, and I understand how frustrating that can be. To be honest, we're a region that cherishes our heritage. We spend a lot of time and effort in heritage-related activities, and history and heritage is only of value if it's accurate. This is an inaccuracy made by the council of the day, and I think that really, if you've made a mistake, the thing you need to do is recognise it and correct that mistake. I do apologise for any inconvenience to anyone that may occur with the renaming of this street, but from my point of view, it's simply the right thing to do.
Okay, Mr McCarthy, you can't speak in this. Thank you. You can't speak in this debate. I noticed you rise, but you can't speak. Okay, so is there further speakers for? Councillor Green.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to thank Councillor Bonaventura for bringing this notified motion to us and to reiterate the comments by Councillor Bella. This is the right thing to do, and it is correcting a historical inaccuracy. There's sufficient evidence that's been brought to light that does support the name was spelt incorrectly for the original family that settled in the Half-Tide area. And indeed, we have the Hellwigs and McCarthy Streets down there. Hellwig is spelt correctly and McCarthy is incorrectly, so I think this is just righting a wrong. And again, I apologise as well for the inconvenience, but in my opinion, I think it's a small inconvenience for correcting, what's going on. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Councillor Green. Any other speakers? Councillor May speaking first.
Yeah, thank you very much, Worship. I will be very quick. I just wanted to say that I support Councillor Bonaventura's motion that he has brought forward today as an alternate motion. I think that the history is there. It's proven that there has been a spelling mistake, and we as a council now have an opportunity to set the record straight. So I think we should take that opportunity and fix this.
Thanks, Councillor May. Councillor Jones speaking for.
Yes, Your Worship. I too support this motion. Our staff did the best job that they could to consult with the community about the proposed change. I am really disappointed to see that we didn't get more takers in relation to, submitting their thoughts on this. I don't believe that, out of the 10 that have opposed wanting this change, that potentially they could have been newcomers to the area. They may not be people that have lived here for 63 years. But as everybody has said today, evidence shows that this is the history of the area, that an error was made, and I certainly do believe that it should be changed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further speakers? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Any against? The motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. There's no petitions today, no tenders, no notified motions, public participation. We've got 2 people registered. Jason Wilcox. Jason, I don't know whether you've been here before, but you have 3 minutes. This is not an interactive session, and we're here to listen to what you have to say today.
Do we have any councillors in here who have done their own research and realise that their lives are also being targeted and who are prepared or want to make a stand against Mackay's Smart City agenda? Smart City agenda, the social credit system and the digital ID are all one. They cannot be separated. The Mackay Local Government Authority, the LGA, works hand in hand with the United Nations, achievement of the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and the Earth Charter is the end state of its operation. Each neighbourhood will be divided in several parts. In Mackay, the council is already referring to the Black Beach Hub. This will be the greater area of Black Beach, consisting of a small number of zones. You will be born, live, shop, study, socialise, work, receive any medical treatment and die no more than 15 minutes from their designated residential zone. And that's 15 minutes of walking or cycling, not driving. You'll only be permitted to leave your particular zone to travel to another zone in that same hub 100 times per year. If your family has 2 cars, then it will only be 50 times a year, or 25 times a year if your family has 4 cars. This means that those in the Blacks Beach zone will never be permitted to hold a job outside of Blacks Beach Hub. Facial recognition, number plate tracking, every item you buy, because there will be no cash. Every person you meet, every activity you attend will be monitored, tracked and achieved. Are you really prepared to live like this? And we also need to know if the council will have representation at the International Smart City Expo in Sydney on the 14th to the 15th of March 2023. Wait for your response. Thanks.
Thank you. On to marriage. You know the rules.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. I have been contacted by the CEO's personal executive assistant, and will be making an appointment to speak to her on concerns and issues that are previously raised in public participation period, as I did ask for last week. And I thank you for that. But I have one more of many. I'm really concerned with the amount of chemtrails that are seen across our skies on a very regular basis. Chemtrails are not a conspiracy theory. They do, however, have a not-so-secret agenda. Chemtrails have been used by world governments for decades for reasons from weather modification for climate change, or climate control rather, to population control. Often, white lines are seen coming from aircraft flying across the Mackay region. Sometimes one line, often a pattern or grid of lines that slowly billow out to cover the whole sky. Following this, a few days of overcast weather, absolutely no sunshine, sometimes heavy rain, sometimes intermittent showers. Reports of chemtrails are coming from all over our country. In fact, the Australian population has been heavily targeted. Rainwater samples have shown presence of aluminium, arsenic, barium, boron, iron, manganese and zinc, and many, many more. Many condensation samples have confirmed similar results. We can no longer drink our rainwater. It's no longer fit for human consumption. On many mornings I have found a fine white dust covering my silver car, and on a few occasions my car has been covered with small yellow dots. Totally covered. Actually impossible to get off without a really good wash. What are we having forced into our bodies? All of these chemicals and metals are leaching into our water, our souls and our bodies, and it needs to stop. Population control is the foremost intent of the World Economic Forum Great Reset. You can scoff all you like, but they, the World Economic Forum, have no hesitation in bragging about their master plan of reducing the world population, and openly parade the multitude of world leaders, including our own, who are totally prepared to conform to this ideology. The chemicals in these man-made clouds are designed to kill us. So many people are suffering from health issues that can actually be linked to these chemtrails and the chemicals in them. My husband and I have been experiencing itchy eyes for some time now, and on speaking to many other people in Mackay, find it's a very common issue. Our rights and freedoms, if indeed we ever had any, have been stripped from us. We have no say in what governments are doing to the people. In fact, this council, along with all others, have been elected by the people to represent we the people. Who has been asked if they want these chemicals and metals sprayed into our skies, over our land and water, and onto our people?
Manager, you've gone over 3 minutes now, so thank you very much.
I'll be returning next
Thank
fortnight
you.
again for the balance. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's the only two registered public addresses today from the public participation. Late business. Any late business? No, Councillor Hassan, thank you.
Thank you. Question. Just one brief item. So on Saturday, the Serena Lions Club hosted the zone finals for the Lions Youth of the Year competition. A few weeks before that, myself and Councillor Mann, Councillor Englert judged the school finals of those, and I've got to say there are some outstanding young people in our community. Those kids can speak better than I can now, particularly on those impromptu. So we just wanted to pass on a certificate to you. I've lost count of how many, of 30-something zone finals that you've judged over the many years that you've been here. So we just wanted to pass on a certificate of appreciation to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Yeah, it certainly fills you with a great deal of pride and positive positioning for the future to see young people like that. Absolutely outstanding. Okay. Any other late business? Councillor Green?
Yes, thank you. I had the privilege of being a judge for the Just Saying project. That was the awards night. The Women's Awards night was on Saturday night. This is the second one now that's been held. Fallon Druitt is a resident of Mackay, and for 8 years she has been building this platform that supports women and hears their stories and their experiences to provide that support to other women in our region. So she has meaningfully curated a number of projects over the last 8 years that focus on that. These are incredible awards that give the opportunity to recognise women in our wider region that have done some fantastic, do fantastic work that often goes unrecognised in our traditional award system. So things like Margaret Burgess, who won the Visionary Award for her works in the creative space in the Mackay region. So I'd like to thank Fallon personally for the work that she does in this space, and congratulate all of the nominees and the award winners for Saturday night.
Thanks, Councillor Green. Any further late business? Councillor Bell?
I think, in its completeness sake, I wasn't going to speak here, but it should be recognised that our two very own councillors, Fran Mann and Belinda Hassan, were actually nominees in those awards. I'd hate to see them get passed over in this. Thank you.
Yeah. Well said. Thanks, Councillor Bella. Further late business? Councillor Mann?
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I just wanted to bring to the Council's attention the 100-year celebration of St Michael's Parish, which you and I were invited to attend on Sunday. Bishop Michael and Father Matthias conducted the prayer and the celebration within the church, and then we had a morning tea to celebrate. But the rich history of the church in the Serena area, it's just unbelievable. When we had the privilege of looking back through the booklet that was compiled, it certainly enlightens you as to what the people that lived in the parish 100 years ago were able to do and achieve. And I want to give a big shout out to Robin Bago, who took it upon herself to compile all of that information with assistance from other members of the community. But Robin was really the key driver of bringing all that together. So I think it's a worthy landmark and time frame that we really embrace 100 years of St Michael's Parish.
Yeah, thanks very much, Councillor Mate. Further late business? No further late business? We have one confidential report to consider. It's fairly well standard. Is anyone who might want to move into confidential? Nobody wants to move into confidential? Okay, the draft minutes of the Invest Mackay Events and Conference Attraction Program Advisory Committee for the 20th of February. Somebody like to move the adoption? Councillor May moves. Councillor Englert seconds. Those in favour? Any against? The motion's carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, CEO. Thank you, directors. Declare the meeting closed.